talks with Chucky, me and you. It's big small talks, BSing with the group. It's big small talks, expanding points of view. It's big small talks, it's big small talk.
We back.
We in
And
it.
we back, and we back, and we back, and we back. What song is that from?
I have no clue.
We back, and we back, and we back. Is that Chance? Chance the Rapper?
Is it?
Yeah, and we back, and we back.
Oh,
I
that
think
sounds
so.
more like some 90s R&B right there or something.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's like a 90s R&B Chance the Rapper. Chance the Rapper. And we back, and we back, and we back. I know it is.
The one song with Shawn Mendes, the Ball and Flossin one, he has some like old like 2000s DJ on it. You know what I mean? It's so funny. It's pretty interesting.
I think it's that drug songs. We don't take drugs no more. We don't do the
Same drugs.
Same drugs. There we go. That's what it is. Yeah. It's the intro. It goes, and we back, and we back, and we back.
Oh, yeah, on that one?
Anyway.
Bro, I was making a playlist for work so I could play my music. And I had to do, obviously you have to do it like work appropriate, turn the explicit off. And Same Drugs is one of them. And I was like, is that not explicit? And I was like, I haven't gone through it, but
it doesn't have any curse words in it.
Okay, because the other one too was "Bitch Better Have My Money." They put as clean, and it wasn't like trick.
Do you have the clean version on there?
It's on Spotify, so I have no clue. But it says "Bitch Better Have My Money." It wasn't even like, because usually it would be like edited then.
Right.
It was like "Bitch Better Have My Money," clean.
But sometimes it's really weird. So Spotify doesn't put clean or explicit in parentheses next to the name of the title of the song, but depending on the album that you chose from, they do put the clean and the explicit versions. So maybe in your playlist you had the clean version, even though the title of it was "Bitch Better Have My Money."
I didn't want to take that risk. You know?
I know, yeah. No, why would you? Yeah.
I had one, and it was good. Like I turned my explicit off, and I got to put it on. It was that Russ and Ty Dolla $ign song, and we're at work, and it's playing, and then it was like, "Motherfucking pussy popping." I was like, "Oh my god!" And I got turned it off, bro. I'm like, "Oh my god, dude, there's gonna be like a kid or a grandma that heard that, bro." I'm so getting fired.
Motherfucking pussy popper! Did you hear that?
She's like, "Okay."
Oh my god!
They turned
funny. Yeah, that is funny, bro.
Yeah.
I remember playing music at work. There was this time where we had a coworker, and we would go back and forth with music, and we had like the separate shifts, so there was times where I would be like a mid or like whatever, and then when she would be walking in, my music would be blasting on the PA system, and she'd be walking in all like whatever, and then there was the opposite where she was working the mid, and then I came in for the close, and her music was blasting. I was like, oh shit,
okay.
And it was so funny because we're just like doing our work, like to this beat, like, and you can't even hear the customers or anything. You're like, customers would ask us like, can you lower the music please, because like we're trying to do work over here and we can't hear. I was like, it's just a corporate thing, like it's just I don't have the ability. I don't have the ability to turn it down. Yeah, that was funny.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I've been playing like JT, and I'm just vibing the whole time.
Nice. Yeah,
I mean,
that was really cool during the initial lockdown, pandemic, was that nobody was allowed in the establishment, so it was just drive through, and we were able to just blast it.
I don't know though. Like, I feel like the manager we have now cares about that, because remember one time I was in the back, so like customers can't hear it.
And they should.
Yeah. I mean, they should. I guess.
They should.
I guess.
Our other manager just was oblivious. You know what I'm saying? So like that was not something that was of importance, especially because it did kind of set the vibe. And we, to our defense, we didn't do anything crazily other than the volume, but like the vibe that we had was pretty okay. I feel like there wasn't like things that were playing that were like, I don't understand why this is playing at a coffee shop,
Yeah, I mean, like my playlist all right now is like all R&B and stuff. Like I have like
Yeah, that's
most
cool.
of Circles on there because Circles is like all clean. So I have like
Right. Yeah.
basically that whole
A
album
bunch
on
of them.
there.
Yeah.
I have like a
You,
bunch of
well, you go
Khalid
to coffee
songs.
shops. You go to a bunch of coffee shops, restaurants, like whatever, and they're playing like everything,
Yeah,
like everything. So, I mean, and
or
not
just
all of it's
vibes when you come
yeah,
in.
yeah, and it's not all clean either. There's sometimes where I go into like shops and I'll be like, "Yo, are they playing Eminem right now?"
Yeah,
And it's like they
dude.
are.
I mean, like I remember my
Yeah.
first shop. They were playing Party Next Door, and I was like, oh, "Sorry, what song is this?" You know what I mean? And then like
Yeah.
what's going on in, but yeah,
That's wild. I like going to the store sometimes and like I feel like I do that a lot at what is it called? What is that clothing store called? Urban Outfitters. Like when I go to into Urban
oh yeah,
Outfitters, like I pretty much always am like, oh, like this is a good song. So like I'll go in there and that'll happen. Or any of the like the skate shops that I like
yeah.
would buy clothes at, whatever. There's usually like one song where I'm like, oh, this song sounds like pretty good. It's almost like so just like distracting to me. Like when I'm like trying to like shop, I'll be like, yo, this is
Yeah.
good.
Oh,
Like,
I like this.
yeah,
I will
yeah,
buy
like,
it.
yeah, wow, yeah, exactly.
Well, I love when like skate shops would always do like the old like pop punk. You know what I mean? Like there's always like Blink 182 going on, all that stuff. And
Sick.
I
Yeah, like
love
the
that stuff.
screamo stuff, or like you
Yeah.
go into Hot Topic. Hot Topic
Yeah.
is like just blasting Panic at the Disco,
Heavy.
or
Yeah, exactly. Or some
yeah,
heavy
or
metal
Fall
type
Out
shit.
Boy,
Yeah.
dude. Oh
Dude, I
man,
love that
that's
shit.
fun. Or do you remember AFI?
Yes.
They only had
Yeah.
one song that I knew. It's like that.
Only one good song, right?
Where is my love, come on?
Yeah.
Where is
Wasn't
take
that song
my
on Guitar
love?
Hero?
I think so.
I think it was a
Yeah.
Guitar Hero song.
So funny story about that band. I actually saw them perform that song at Coachella. They were like one of the first bands of the day of the festival. It was like Friday, like at 2
Really?
like PM. Yeah. But it was just like, and there was nobody else playing that was like of interest to me. And me and my sister were like, like, do you remember AFI? And then we were both
I
just
think
like,
so.
yeah. And so we're like, you want to just go like sit on the grass and just like, just listen, like, whatever, we're here, And we went and they played that song. We like all stood up and we're like, like,
you knew the Guitar Hero? You were like, red, green, yellow.
Bro, speaking of Guitar Hero, have you ever seen those dudes play Guitar Hero like really, really fast? Like,
dude, there was on. Did you send me the
like,
video the other day?
Like, they're just like
the dude who was playing it backwards, like he wasn't even looking at the screen. That shit's nuts.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
And I said that to my buddy Jacob, and he was like, "People will do anything except learn how to play guitar."
Yeah. That's so true.
They will do anything except learn how to play guitar. I was like, dude, that is funny. Yeah, he was just like,
yeah,
and like every single bubble was being like hit.
It's going
just like, how?
They've done it so much they just memorized the at that point.
Like it's like muscle memory.
Yeah.
Still, even with muscle memory, like I'm a pretty fast typer, right? I still mess up and have to go back one time. You know what I'm saying? And then like that click, and then like I'm still pretty quick.
Right. Oh, I'm that's how I'm as a typer. I botch everything.
Really?
See, and the other
because like, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say the other day I was doing like one of the documents for work, and there's no autocorrect. There's no spelling correct.
Right.
And I botched it, and I remember I was giving it to my mom, and she's like, "Yeah, that's wrong. I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "Where's autocorrect when I need it?"
Yeah, I know. Like, yeah, I'm so fortunate for autocorrect or just the red line to let me know that I spelt it wrong. Because without that, I'm toast.
Yeah,
I'm just toast. But yeah, usually because like especially like when I'm writing like essays or whatever, like I'm kind of like I like taking the approach of like free writing. So I just basically like write out all my thoughts, like what I think about the topic, and I'll just go to town and I'll be looking at it and I'll be seeing like a bunch of red, but like I just don't care because because I need to get the idea down first. Out. And then once I do that, then I'll just go and I correct my mistakes. But it's a lot of mistakes to correct,
Yeah.
So like I still going back to this guitar thing, like they literally hit every single one. That's wild. But I guess if you were to type out the same essay
over and over
right,
and over
like
and over and over again.
over and over again, you'd probably get it down.
Well, if you think about it, like remember back in the day with like our old phones, like I could text while not
Without
while
looking
looking
at it.
dude, because
Yeah.
I knew where the
Dude,
keys were.
T9.
So I actually, you know what?
bro?
The car, you know, the Guitar Hero thing's actually not that great
It's
because
not that hard,
I was on
yeah.
my Orange Envy under my desk, just you know what I mean,
That orange
hitting
envy.
through the fire and the flames, but on my phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you ever have the brick envy? The very first one, like the brick. It was like maybe like this big, and it was
Did it flip?
fatty. Yeah, it flipped.
Yeah,
It was
I think
fatty,
that's
though.
the one that was they came out with the orange, and then
The orange one was a little bit more flat and rounded, and then
okay.
it had like the orange face, but it was like a chrome, almost gray around it,
mhm.
right? The one before that was like just like a silver, and it was like a brick.
Oh, okay.
Like it was straight up like so
Yeah.
fat, dude. It was crazy.
Well,
But
before the Envy, I had the Razor, the silver Razor.
I always wanted one of those.
Yeah, and then I remember after the Orange Envy, I got the Slide Envy, where they first added the slide component.
Nice.
Because my little brother, dude, who was like, I don't know, 2 or 3 at the time, were like by the pool, and he takes my Orange Envy and he looks at it and he's just like,
Tosses it in the wall.
boom, throws it in the
No
jacuzzi.
way.
Yeah,
Oh
straight
my
up.
gosh.
Like just throws it right in. Yeah, I was like, are you like, I will kill you. So
wow.
I was never cool enough to get a sidekick though.
I was never cool enough. I pled with my parents for days.
Dude,
for days.
I know.
Lots of days. There was this one time where we went into, it was at the Fashion Island. Have you ever been to Fashion Island in Newport Beach, the mall?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so it's like a really big mall. Big enough to where it's like it's 2 buildings. They have this one mall, and then they have a bridge where it crosses the street into another building, and then it's another mall. And it's the whole thing, and it compiles a 3-story mall. And then they also have an outdoor area too, with like shops and stuff. And so we were over there, and they had this phone shop that wasn't T-Mobile, it wasn't Verizon, it was just like a phone store. And I don't know, I was younger, I was like, like maybe 14, so I don't remember exactly what it was, but it might have been like a pay as you go kind of service thing or whatever. But they had a phone that was very similar to a Sidekick, except instead of sliding only up, it could slide both ways. So it would go up this way to have a long form one, and then you could close it and slide it up the other way. But it wasn't bulky. Like I remember like holding it.
Why do I feel like was it pretty popular at the time?
It was like black and white. Yeah, it was like black and white.
Okay.
And it was so slick. And I like, to me, the finances of it were not at much more than what I was doing with this phone that I had. It was I already had the Envy. And so I was like, Dad, come on, like, like I'm up due for an upgrade. Like, this is like so sick. Like, come on, like I won't ask for anything, like that whole, I won't ask for anything after this. Like,
ever. Ever again.
And and the thing that bummed me out the most was that he kind of like checked it out. He was like, well, let me see what it is. Like, whatever.
Look.
And so we go and checked it out. And I'm sure there was a logical explanation for something that was like, no, we're not doing this,
Yeah.
But to me, I was like, you were right there, Dad.
It's
like you were right there to make
insult.
a purchase for me. Yeah.
He's like, you know what?
What's the deal?
I'm gonna get it. He's like, I got it.
Yeah. Imagine that would have been too. But yeah,
the thing about the Sidekick was that it would flip to the side. That was the whole.
And you
thing.
could do that click, and then the cool people would do the little click, and then yeah. That thing.
Dude, that was a vibe. Yeah. Honestly, if iPhone came out with anything like that, I'd do
it. There's rumors of them making a flip iPhone, like a flip phone.
Yeah, but I liked the buttons. Like I actually wasn't against buttons. Yeah, I remember that was my first thing getting an iPhone. I was like, this whole non-button things. I mean, I could I could still text while like. Did I lose this video there?
You're good.
There we go. I could still text while I'm not looking, but you kind of mess up more. But having an actual keypad, like if they made an iPhone and then like really thin and then it like slid and there was a little keypad, dude, I'd get it again.
Yeah,
I'd for sure do it.
Yeah, that was my biggest reason for not getting the iPhone right when it came out. I had a BlackBerry for a while. Yeah,
I had BlackBerry too.
And the BlackBerry that I had compared to the BlackBerries that were out before, it wasn't the ball anymore. It was the touch screen, like little square thing. So it was like using like an iPhone, You know what I'm saying? As far as like the
Yeah.
touch is concerned, which was so sick, but it still had the keypad, and then it was really light compared to all the previous models of the Blackberries. So like
Right.
I was chilling with the
See,
Blackberry. I love
I
that
went to
Blackberry.
I went to the Thunderbolt, which was like the first Verizon like LTE one, and it was like
Thunderbolt. I never even heard
4G
that one.
exactly. And
Yeah.
but it's an Android. And bro, I
Oh,
got so many bugs on that, and you don't realize that how the firewall is on the iPhone because like I got it to where my phone was saying January 1985. 1985. Like I'm not 1985. Like
yeah,
I'm too young for that. Like I don't know how my smartphone said 1985. Like that
yeah.
was the date on my phone. Like it got so buggy, and it would take like 5 minutes to turn on.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I'm sure the technology with that is pretty like better now with the Android. Like
yeah, 100%.
as far as the firewall is concerned, because it doesn't seem like that seems to be an issue for them.
So I remember the one cool thing about Androids though was that you could download stuff
Right.
way easier.
You can customize your phone.
Yeah,
You know,
like
like
you like
all
any video you watch, you just download it to your phone.
right.
Any song you
Which
can just download it.
so and the thing that I don't understand is why videos to and from Apple users to Android users aren't cohesive. Like when I send
They
somebody,
want us to stay with iPhone.
I know I get that, but like the technology doesn't really make sense to me because you would think that like if Android has they claim to have this great technology going for them. So is
Yeah,
it Apple that's doing something to combat that? Like they're
I
like,
think
well,
so.
the technology is good enough, but we're gonna block it. You think?
I think so because if you look at it like when you take a picture on a droid and you send it to
So
another droid
nice.
user, it looks pretty nice. I mean, I still think the
Yeah.
iPhone camera is better, but
Yeah.
it's still nice. And then
Right.
like I don't know if Apple owns like Snapchat or something. Remember when Androids are posting on Snapchat? They have like different emojis. It's like grainy as shit. Like I don't,
Yeah.
and I think
Even
it's
on
like
Instagram stories sometimes.
yeah, but if you have a droid, it looks clear, like on your end, and the messages are all good. But then somehow when you message a droid user, it fucks up on your iPhone. So I think it's just a way for you to be like, oh, droids suck because you have an
That's
iPhone.
wild, dude. That's
But if you have
wild.
a droid, you realize, nah, like we're fine. It's just on
Yeah,
your
we're
end, I
fine.
think.
Yeah, it's just so frustrating because I was chatting with my buddy Danny, and I was sending him some videos that I was doing some stuff on Ableton in terms of like explaining, you know, how this works, and then he was kind of going back and forth with me, and he was like, "Yo, do you have WhatsApp? Because like the videos don't work between us." I'm
Right.
like, "Damn, I have to download this whole app just to
What's
share yeah some videos." So
that's what you
which
got a
Facebook
Sancha in
Facebook
Mexico.
owns WhatsApp too, so it's like, damn, they just own everything.
Yeah, that
Facebook's
sucks.
Facebook's wild, dude.
Yeah.
It is wild. Yeah. Just in school, it's like they're just everything is being pushed to Facebook. Facebook is just like
It's a new
the
yeah.
ad god for
Well,
businesses.
well, I went to my optometrist a while back, and uh, the guy in the front was like, "Hey, if you leave us a Yelp review and like her on Facebook, then you could get a free like eye solution for your contacts and all this other stuff." And I was like,
Mhm.
"Okay." And then I remember calling because I needed my prescription, but it was COVID, so I couldn't go in.
Mhm.
And so I was like, "Hey, like I need new glasses though because I had broke mine."
Mhm.
And they're like, "We can't get your prescription, but you could always DM her on Facebook." And I'm like, really?
Yeah,
There's no other like
that messenger is like huge because it's just quick responses and it's from the phone. They
yeah,
can
but I
just
was just
be on
like,
that thing.
but usually it's like an
I know. It
email
seems
or
so
like
inappropriate.
call
Like it seems
or
so yeah, it seems so like
yeah to
unprofessional. Yeah,
Facebook
but
your
it's just
doctor.
the new norm. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just the new norm. It's wild. Yeah, it's wild. The Facebook analytics, we were going over it like briefly in the class that I'm in. I'm gonna do it more in depthly like this next semester. But
yeah,
I mean, there's a whole class on Facebook analytics. So, which is
yeah,
going to be good for us because I mean, you know, assuming that
yeah. We'll
they're
get on there.
right, like we pretty much got to get on Facebook because Facebook just is like the top tier of all this in order to like
Yeah,
propel like audiences and stuff. And you can do your own
and there's
like
the
for your ads and
groups.
stuff like that. Yeah, you can do your own like ad groups and stuff based off of different, you know,
Yeah,
likes and stuff like that. So
I'm just not big
it's
on
genius.
Facebook. I know like Sienna and all her like sorority girls use Facebook and they did for all the events and all the other stuff. I just
Mhm.
wasn't really on that. I was on the Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff.
Right.
But it's like still
just
going on.
different.
Like they're still
There's
doing
just
shit.
different purposes for Facebook now. Like it's not a
Right.
social network for you to interact with your friends and your family anymore. At least for me, because like
It's like
none of
networking almost.
it's networking for business.
Yeah.
It's not.
But
It's
speaking of
not
that,
like
I gotta boost up my LinkedIn. I've been realizing that's like so big right now.
what?
LinkedIn.
Oh, your LinkedIn. I thought you said I got to
Yeah.
boost my link in, and I was like, "What's your link? What's your link
Yeah,
to? What did we
is it
link
gonna be
you to?"
below?
yeah,
Or
yeah.
do I swipe up or like?
Yeah, LinkedIn is huge too.
Yeah.
They're all on. They ask for that on your resumes now.
I
Like
know, dude.
on your online resumes, when you submit an online resume, they ask for your LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
It's still me. It's still like 19-year-old me, like sitting at a it's like a music studio desk type thing.
Wait, is that black and white picture?
I think it's older than that one. I think it's like me. I think it's me in a flannel, and I have a beanie on, and it's like a side/back view of me, and I'm like looking at the computer like this, and it's coming from this side.
I think I know which picture you're talking about.
Yeah, it was at my professor's home studio. He has this like, such a nice like setup, and I had asked if one of my friends could come with us and just take a bunch of pictures of me while I was like working in his studio, and he was like, yeah, for sure. And so I just have a bunch of photos of that. But it's like
it was on your.
It's like I was 19.
Was it on your Instagram profile?
Currently?
Was it? No, wasn't it like back in the day?
I'm sure it was. Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Okay,
Like way back.
I think I know what you're talking about.
way back in the day. Yeah. The one that I have currently is like the cover art for one of my Lil Rochi songs, and it's that one kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I think the one that I have now is like a silhouette like photo of me, just like with the sky, and it's like my face is like black. I can't remember.
Nice.
I don't know.
Nice.
Mysterious,
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, dude, speaking of social media, we posted our first TikTok.
Oh yeah, we did. How did that go?
We did.
How did it go?
Pretty good. Like the editing wasn't like hard, and then so like I like what you had on the and I was able to edit it so that it fits the screen. Like you're kind of off the screen on some parts, but
but you can see what's happening. Yeah,
because TikTok is like I think this 16:9 or whatever it is. It's like the opposite, and so like you have to condense it, but because if not, I feel like when it's wide on TikTok, it doesn't look good. So I was like aesthetically
right, because you get that black on the top and the bottom.
Right, exactly.
And
but it was good for
same
like
thing with
YouTube
the
and stuff.
Instagram Reel, which was annoying, but because I could have done the same thing for the Reel. Like it gave me that option of having it.
Yeah.
But I really wanted them because I was going like left to right so much. You know what I'm saying? So like I wanted to show them what I was doing, and plus that time lapse was actually like 2 minutes long. I just took like a portion of it. You know what I'm saying?
See, and then I sped it up too. So I sped up your time lapse. I added effects, and then I put in like just like whatever, because like on TikTok you could put like whatever songs that kind of trending right now, and then so I think we got like 600 views or something like that, and we were all right. But we get the first one's up now. So
the first one's up. Yeah, we just gotta be consistent with it. You know what I'm saying?
The only thing about these videos is these ones are sideways, so I might post some of these ones, but they're sideways.
Yeah, there should be a way where you can make it up and down, because right now on my view it's up and down, it's not sideways. So maybe when we're done here, I could try to export it differently. But
okay, maybe because right
we'll
now I mean, because I'm on my phone, so you're here and then I'm like in the corner like a FaceTime.
Because right now you're on top of me and I'm below you.
If we
we both have our own windows.
But I know they export like sideways. So if we can export it where it's on top.
So I'm thinking if I can just try to export it in a different way. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Solid.
Yeah, we'll try it out.
Yeah. But follow us on our TikTok.
TikTok. What are we at? Big Small Pod?
Big Small Talks Pod, I'm pretty sure. I think it's the same thing as our Instagram.
Big Small Talks Pod.
Yeah.
Big Small Talks Pod. Big Small Talks Pod. Big Small Talks Pod.
And then speaking of that, we're gonna be posting our YouTube more.
Yeah, so we have the 2 videos up so far, and then we just got to keep going up with that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I think we kind of talked about it, but or I talked about it maybe in the intro of the last episode. But I think what we should do is, and I think that we're still new enough to where this would really affect our viewership, is, posting on Wednesdays so that it allows us to edit the video and the audio and have both things come out at the same time, and to which, each person wants to, whether they want to watch it or whether they want to listen to it, it comes out on the same day. Because I've been releasing the videos like on Saturdays because I don't have time to like edit it and stuff like that. But
Right.
if we can record on Sunday or Monday, and then I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Monday and Tuesday to like edit to post by
Mhm.
Wednesday, that shouldn't be hard. Because the video editing, I did the same thing as the Ableton project. It's a template, so all I do is input the new video feed.
Oh, okay. Is there
The
anything
intros
specific
are
you have to edit or for the video?
no, the intro is already there and the outro is already there. So all I got to do is implement, like I delete the old whatever video file, implement the
And just
new
put it
one,
in.
and then just export it. And then I got to compress it down, because when you export it to like the pro resolution, it ends up being like 46 gigabytes, which it takes like a day to download that. But you can
Oh,
compress
shit.
it down to 4K at different whatever, I forget the word, but like different settings basically.
Mhm.
And it just kind of compresses down the file for YouTube purposes. So it ends up being like 5 gigs. So it still takes a while. It takes like 30 minutes, but that's nothing compared to like a day.
Yeah, it's a long time.
It's a lot. Well, because you figure 46 gigs, that's a lot.
It's a lot
That's
of
like
gigs.
that's like more than a movie.
It's like a video game. It's like a full ass video game.
Yeah.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
like a full ass program.
Yeah.
That's bigger than a program on your computer. So
Yeah, literally.
yeah. So it's just, we got to get in that swing of things. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I think that'll be cool though to release on Wednesdays and just be consistent. You know what I'm saying? It just opens up some time for us.
Yeah.
Because and with this, to basically give the people some peace with releasing on Wednesdays, we're actually going to be posting more during the week, before and after. So
Mhm.
it's actually going to be more consistent content throughout the week rather than just the one Tuesday. So by shifting it over to Wednesday, don't be scared, because you're actually going to be getting a little bit more from us with this, I think. So
Yeah. I agree.
so
I
don't be
agree.
scared. So don't be
It's gonna
scared.
be okay.
Change
Don't
is
worry,
good.
baby.
Evolve.
Don't worry, baby.
Evolving is good. We evolve here. We learn.
Yeah.
We, what worked for us last year is not working for us this year, and we are not staying stagnant or complacent. We are growing, and we ask that you grow with us.
Innovators.
Innovators. Great word. Speaking of innovation and growth, let's talk about Delia.
Or lack thereof, or what?
Okay, yeah, right. Okay, so like, if for those that don't know, Delia is a stand-up comedian, writer, producer. Like he's a
Vine.
actor. He was in Vine. He does stupid videos. He has a podcast. He is in movies. He was in that one TV show on Netflix.
He was on You.
I mean,
And he played a role very, very similar to what he got in trouble for.
And you know what's funny is he played a role in Workaholics as a pedophile. Isn't that funny?
Wow, he just knew it so well.
So yeah, and to his defense, in a way, he has basically come out and said that all of his sexual interactions were consensual, and he's staying by that. He said that at the beginning, and he's saying that now, which it's months later. We haven't heard from this guy in a while. He pretty much just fell off the face of the earth. He got caught up in that Me Too movement. He got caught up in a sexual
because he
was
Snapchatting underage girls,
which he didn't know. He was Snapchatting, he was emailing, he was texting. I mean, there was multiple forms of conversation with these people. But in his video that he just came out with on YouTube, which you can find it, just search Delia. He was basically saying that, as a actor, as an entertainer, as somebody who gains success and fame and a name, sex basically became something that was very easy to obtain, and he pretty much came out and said that he got into entertainment and wanted to become successful because that was one of the like desires of his heart, basically, was sex. Like, I want to have, you know, sex with people, and now it's becoming easy because I'm famous. So and his justification for it was, everybody does this, like everybody who gets here does it, is going to do this. And I think he just got lost in the sauce. And so those, because he basically said, you know, like, any person that messaged me after my show, I responded to.
Yeah. He said he was responding to everybody, which
50
usually
messages a night.
Usually, if you're famous, I feel like you don't really respond. You're just like, all right, whatever you, you know what I mean?
Right.
But he was
You would
like
think.
actively
He was
going
like,
into it.
He said that he was blatant too, because he like wanted to be honest. He was like, let's go to my hotel and make out, or let's fuck, or like whatever. Like, he would just say that, like, not even in response to, hey, like, I'm a big fan of yours, or like whatever. It's just like, yeah, cool, like, you want to make out, you know? And so it looks
it's aggressive.
bad. It's really aggressive. And then if you're not taking the time to like go to their profile, see what they're about, look at their age, is this girl even, whatever. Yeah, it's like, right, you just, to everybody. And so this is all just to say that, you know, I think that there's two things that are happening here. One, he was being a jerk, he was being a dick, he let you know, power and success, and he got lost in the sauce. He allowed that to overcome him, and he basically allowed sex to just basically become this like god in his life, this idolization, his way of being and living.
He said he was cheating on his fiance all the time,
right?
Too,
Crazy.
which is like, he just
wow, yeah. And then you have this thing where, you know, there's that Me Too movement where people are getting hurt. I mean, and when somebody like that is just doing this all the time, it's almost just bound to happen. Like, you're just bound to hurt somebody's feelings. You're bound to cross the line. There's just, you know, so much like stuff going on here. And so when he came out with this video, I was really hoping to see a sincere apology. Okay, so he's sticking to his guns that everything was consensual, right? So assuming that he's telling the truth there, and assuming that everything was consensual, and that he didn't do anything that was illegal, right? Like, he didn't do anything like that. This is just him wanting to have sex, like, with a bunch of girls, like, you know,
just being a horny ass dude,
and he's just being a horny ass dude. He's still being a jerk. He's still doing some wrong. He's still doing some damage, and he's still hurting people, and he's still affecting the lives of other people that are not himself. And so I was hoping with this video that he would apologize for those things. And instead he kind of played of, I'm just a sex addict, you know, this is really hard for me.
He's like getting kind of choked up, and like,
he was getting choked up.
My therapist said, like, this is good for me, like, whatever. Like, he really seemed like he was shifting the blame on the, like, it was like, oh, it wasn't me, it was. And
the thing is like, that might all be true. Like, there's no discounting of that. Like, you probably are a sex addict, and you probably are, but where is the actual legitimate apology from you to the people that you affected, and to your fans, and to everybody?
It wasn't there.
It wasn't there. He said, I'm sorry. So let's like not discount that. He did say, I'm sorry, but his sorry was very like, I'm sorry, then let's go back to me.
I'm sorry. Quick. I was aggressive in DMs, and that's it. But also, like, I'm sorry, I got lost. He's describing it. He's describing it, and it's like, yeah, dude, you're a dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we get it. You just got to be responsible, especially too, because like I remembering now, like, he's like 36, 37. Like, he's kind of old. Like, at some point, you kind of got to just like be mature about it. You know what I mean? Like, and like, we get it. We're all guys. Like, we know, like, you know, but there's a boundary there, and like the stuff he's doing, especially like you said, like the power thing, like, that's just, you know, could get you in trouble.
And I just wish that, because there was a huge opportunity here, because this is very different from any of the circumstances or occurrences or kind of the things that have happened within the Me Too movement so far. Like, usually, like, so far, what it seems to be that the Me Too movement is pretty much right. Like, when something happens and the girls come out and say something, there's facts and there's
multiple
things that come back.
And it was like to help empower your position at work or whatever like that. It was all those kind
and
of
there's a
things.
bunch of evidence that are basically saying that the guy is in the wrong. So the guy can then like apologize, but he's still apologizing for doing wrong things. Where in this situation, he's saying that it's consensual, and there's actually evidence that are showcasing that the girls are the ones messaging him first, and he was then responding. And so it's wrong that he was overusing his power, but really these girls were seeking him, right? So like I think this is a not your typical Me Too movement situation, because he had the ability to say everything was consensual, but even though everything was consensual, I was wrong. I was being a dick. I hurt some people. I'm sorry, sincerely. I won't do it again. I'm gonna work on being better. And you know, like I'm engaged. I'm having a kid. Like I don't want this to like, you know, be a thing that weighs on my shoulders, because it already is going to be, because now I have to live with this my whole life. And I'm just so sorry. And I just want to come on here to tell you guys that, because I would like for there to be one day where, you know, I can maybe come to you guys and speak with you again, or I can maybe perform again, or maybe whatever. But like, I just need you to know, because I've been so quiet, that I'm sorry. And he didn't say that. He didn't say that. I'm a sex addict, and it's really hard to be famous, and it's really hard to be a guy with power, and I didn't really understand.
It's not what it was like. I thought it was gonna be like, and just yeah, I get what you're saying.
It was saddening. It was saddening.
I wanted more from it. Yeah, I mean, again, and I get like what you were saying too. Like, yeah, he's getting approached by a bunch of women, so like, it's easy for him. He's gonna take advantage of that for sure. But it's when you get to the point of like, you should do your homework a little bit, or like you're now asking underage girls for things. Right, exactly. Like, yeah, exactly. And like, who has something to lose here? The random girl or you? You know what I mean? You like, you have more to lose. So you can't just be like random Snapchatting 16-year-olds like for nudes. Like, you know what I mean? So,
yeah. And then let's put this into perspective. Is it worth it now for you? Like, is this really worth losing all of this stuff that you've worked so hard to build? You know, because he's you know, I really used to look up to him in a sense, because he doesn't smoke, he doesn't do drugs, and he doesn't drink. He's sober, which again, even more so, dude, you're clear-minded and you are doing these wrong things. So now even more so, it would be different if you guys were getting wasted and then making some bad decisions and then you get lost in the sauce that way. But you are actually clear-minded, so even more so you have a responsibility to just understand what you're doing here. You know what I'm saying? And this is funny, because he kind of glorifies himself as being this sober, you know, person that like, you know, you don't need to do all this stuff, that whatever. And this is his drug. This is his addiction. You know, the sex and the abuse right here is what is his thing. And I think it's, you know, just a humbling experience for him. Hopefully maybe he even looks at the video that he put out, and maybe he can see some video like this where we're talking about it, and maybe say, oh man, you know what, I fucked up again. Like I missed it again. Like I missed the whole thing again. You know?
Well, I'm kind of thinking like, what's up with the fiance? Is the fiance like, you know,
I think if two people love each other, and I think if he was able to come at it from a way of actually being sorry, because who knows, maybe the video that he put out for the public is different than what he actually like said and feels and means. And who knows their actual relationship, and they are having a kid together, so who knows if maybe that's kind of
but I'd be done. Like, but it's different. I guess like the only, because like for me, like any kind of thing like that, I'm done. You know what I mean? Like if there's a one-time mistake, that's definitely different than every night going home with another girl. Like that's just, you just don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? And so like that's a whole different perspective. So because he said fiance, so I'm like, that's not ex. Like, are we sure about that?
Yeah. So for sure. Well, but again, who knows really their connection and their love for one another? Who knows her motives? Maybe she likes being with a famous person, and that's what she wants.
I was saying,
she'll do anything to stay with
is once you get the marriage license,
that money,
boom, out.
Maybe. Who knows?
Give me half.
Yeah. Who knows? You know that dude's getting a prenup though.
Yeah. Well, not now. You kind of blew that one, dude.
Yeah.
Now you have to give her half.
Yeah.
It's the least you can do, dog.
And well, she's good either way, because she's gonna get child custody, and you know that that child's not gonna get all that money. You know how it goes. You look at these basketball stars, and they
first 3 years.
Yeah,
the first like 5 years are all to the mom. Yeah, I mean, then he starts doing sports, and you're like, all right, I'll give you some of it.
Yeah. He needs some new shoes.
Yeah, all right, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. We'll dip into your savings because mama spent all your money.
Mom needed a new Rolls, a new Benz.
Yeah, mom was hurting. Mom was
emotionally
healing. Yeah, mom was healing.
Yeah,
She
and I
needed to buy
shopped.
this mansion. Yeah. Mama had some flat ass titties.
He's gonna get.
She needed to get back out
He's
there.
He's gonna get wrecked by that. There's no way if I'm the fiance, I'm not getting something out of that.
Right. No, he's I mean, yeah, he's gonna have to live with it. I mean, this is just true with life, right? You're gonna have to pay for your actions, whether your actions are seen now or seen later on. When you do something wrong, it comes back to haunt you, right? I mean,
you're gonna get,
you can think you get away with it. You can, especially now with where we're at with this whole social media and social justice and all this stuff. Like, I mean, which I think is, in a way, the one positive thing of that is that, we have to be better at, like, just thinking before we act.
We're just more
like,
accountable. We need more accountable.
100%. Because again, is
There's
it
always
really
a camera.
worth it? Is it really worth it? You know what I'm saying?
There could always be a camera. There could always be something. So it's like, and so it like, I definitely feel like people are more groomed to it nowadays.
Mhm.
But back in the day, I mean, like, I still feel like there's going to be so much more that comes out from people because I mean, like,
oh yeah,
just times were different. So like, what I mean? So
yeah. Well, and that's the thing I think with us though now is that, like, we can't really excuse me, we can't really hone in on the past too much to, like, try to change the past. You know what I'm saying? Like, like we have to really learn from the past and basically say, like, like, we're not in that point though. So, like, what can we do to not go back, and what can we do to move forward with this and be, like, in unity with one another? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I mean, it's like nothing in the past is going to change, and you can't change that at all. So to like think about it is like, why are you trying to change the past? Let's change now, and let's move forward so that our kids don't have to deal with this, or our kids' kids don't have to deal with this, and they can look at our progress from the 1920s or slavery or whatever it is that you want to bring up in history to now, and look at how much we grew from this point on, and then once they're alive, you can look at how much we grew from there, and all of this too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, it's a wild time. It's a wild time to be alive.
My buddy was telling me about there's a video of Chris Delia where he's on a podcast, and apparently he didn't know you could save stuff on Snapchat, because how like if you send me something, I can save it. Yeah, and apparently, like, on camera, they're like, yeah, you can save stuff on Snapchat, and he's just like oh shit kind of thing. I'm like, oh my god, dude, I have to go watch that video. So I haven't seen it yet, but I want to check it out.
That is funny. I mean, you just got
that's probably his
sauce,
own shit
brother.
moment. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, probably just got lost in the sauce, brother. Hey, man, it's a wild ride when you get that kind of success and power, and we're humans. I don't think we're supposed to have that kind of control.
That power's nuts.
Sex at your disposal, money at your disposal, things at your disposal. Like, it's just it gets to your head, and that's why humbling experiences like this, I think they gotta happen.
I think some people can manage it. It just, you can tell who can't manage it. You know what I mean? You can definitely tell who who like was not used to this, or who doesn't know how to navigate it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
no, there's definitely people that can navigate it and manage it, but even them, they get lost in it too. But it's funny when you have a conversation with somebody who has money or stuff, and then you talk to them about things. It's like, man, I would never have this conversation unless I was having it with you. Like, when they're talking about, like, for example, just like I had to clean my boat the other day, and I was just out there and the sun was, like, really, really hot, and it's like I got sunburned, right? It's like, well, yeah, that kind of, it's a perspective thing for them. If that was a hard work, but you're taking care of your boat. What I'm saying? It's like, and then if you're talking to me, who, when I was out in the sun, I was, gardening my lawn, out of my, apartment or whatever, the perspective thing, changes there. So it's like, there's still, like, this disconnect from somebody who has that at their disposal versus somebody that doesn't, So it still is like a
half and half. I don't think everybody's like that. I definitely think there's still people who understand the little things, even no matter how much you have. You know what I mean? But there's definitely the other ones that just don't have perspective for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a select few that do though. I think if we're looking at the vast majority of wealthy, successful people,
I don't know. I might disagree, but
yeah,
yeah.
I wouldn't disagree. I mean, I don't see how else you could see that though.
What do you mean?
Like, what would you disagree about? Like in terms of
like I don't think every I don't think every rich or famous person or whatever. I don't think it's all just about that. They have no perspective or whatever. Because I think there is ones that do have perspective, or there's people who use their money for good or use their stuff. So hey, I don't have to worry about money, so now I can focus on my family. I just don't think we see it. They're because they're the ones that aren't in the media. They're not the ones that are, that want to be the famous ones. But there's probably people out there that are, money, but still have, great family morals, still does all the stuff,
But what I'm saying is the people that have money live in access. Like it's overly over access of things, right? Like, so if you were to take, we get mad at the wealthy people for not paying taxes, for example, or for not contributing back to impoverished cities, or whatever the argument is, right? Like we get frustrated with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree, where if you work really, really hard to create this life for yourself, and you have money, so you have got yourself there, or say your family member did before you, and then they pass this on to you, so now you start off a little bit better than most people, and right, so everybody has that a different start point in life. But overall, there's no way that somebody just got something. Somebody worked hard down the line, right? And somebody got to the point of wealth or whatever. But just looking at a house or cars, or we live in a society where everything is in overly expensive stuff that it would be nice to live nicely and nice to live comfortably, but do you really need all of that, is what I'm saying. No, you don't. So that's what I'm saying, is it gets into your head as a human individual that I have all this stuff so I can do whatever I want with it, instead of thinking about others anymore. It's not about just surviving and living well and living comfortably. It's what do I want, and what do I want to do, and what do I want to spend my money on, and where do I want to go, and all this stuff, which I think within reason is cool, because again, you worked hard. But I think the vast majority of people, that's their main focus, and then they focus on the other lower people, giving back, diving into their communities and volunteering and all that kind of stuff secondary. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
That's just people's personal philosophy. You know what I mean? Some people just they just want stuff. You know what I mean? So that's just their person, and their philosophy is I want stuff, and they're getting stuff, so they're fulfilling their goal. You know what I mean? But
yeah, for sure. And you just see that more with famous people, because they're trying to fill a void. You know what I'm saying? They're famous, they're successful, they got all this money, they're doing great, but they're still unhappy. They just continue to try to get.
I think it's the case by case, because I remember I used to live in a shitty apartment, but there's guys that drive nice ass cars because they want the nice ass car on the block, and their priorities aren't straight, because you should be worried about getting out of this shitty apartment or whatever, but they're worried about the more stuff,
the car.
So so I think that's not just exclusively to rich people. I think
for sure, not at all.
Poor people, you know what I mean? For sure,
not at all. They just have the more means to be able to try to fill that void more with stuff.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They just have the means to do so. So whatever.
What's it called? So dude, we had to talk about Daft Punk, bro. R.I.P.
I know, that's wild too. That was a while. That just I don't
today. That just popped. I think it just came today.
Yeah.
What's today, the 21st?
I woke up today and I think I saw on Twitter somebody said R.I.P. Daft Punk, and then as soon as I read that, I went on Google to see what it was about, and that article came up, and it shared that video epilogue. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
The epilogue. I think it's on YouTube. You can go to YouTube and just type in epilogue. Daft Punk. Oops.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's just a little video of basically Daft Punk almost retiring Daft Punk,
right. Yeah,
the biggest thing for me was crazy is I didn't realize it was 28 years. I mean, since 1993. I mean, I didn't realize they were around that long.
Really?
Yeah, I mean that's a long ass time.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get it. They're probably like, hey, I don't want to wear this fucking helmet anymore. Yeah, I mean, it's been 30 years in this helmet. Like, I'm done.
I think for them it's because their rise to fame and their music journey, I think compared to most people has been really, really private, and they've done a good job. The masks are done purposefully so that people don't know who they are in normal life, so
yeah, I didn't even know their names.
yeah
like
when they're out amongst the people, they can do whatever they want, and they're just a normal human being. So I think for them that was the case. I think the reason why they didn't tour so much was because at heart they're music producers. They're not traveling touring artists. They can definitely be that.
Yeah.
And they could have been easily, and they could have been making money and money and money, right? But I think for them, they were true artists in music creation. And then they just set the stage and started the conversation for stage design and stage setup.
Yeah, you were saying the Coachella stuff.
Yeah, their very first performance at Coachella was the year that they had the pyramid stage setup, which it was LED lights, which had never been done before, and it was the very first time that electronic music had been such a big presence in Coachella at the Sahara tent, so it was just a bunch of things that were happening where it was just like, wow, Daft Punk just, they just encompassed everything that was kind of happening, and then they just changed it. And so then you got deadmau5 the next year coming out with his Cube, and then you got like all these different EDM artists with the light shows and all these kind of stuff like that with these LED screens. And Daft Punk was the first to do that, but they didn't really tour it that much. They played a couple shows with it and did tour, but it wasn't like this world tour where they just went off with it
all over.
And then they went silent for years, and then they came back with their other album, the one that had all those Grammys. What was that album called?
I'm not sure.
The one with Pharrell.
Pharrell. I was looking up their Wikipedia earlier, and like I didn't realize like how many songs they were helping like produce. Like Kanye, Weeknd, with Pharrell, doing all these things like that. I mean, they were producing a lot of stuff. Even if they weren't getting like on Spotify, it doesn't say like, hey, like The Weeknd and Daft Punk. It just says The Weeknd, but like they have producer credits.
Yeah, song credits. Yeah. Well, and that's only them as Daft Punk. They have producer credits as the two individuals.
Yeah, which is probably like what you were saying is probably what they're going to focus on now.
Yeah, because they are.
How old are they?
I'll tell you right now. Let's see.
So if they might be like what, 50?
Let's see, 47. Guy Manuel is 47. He was born in 1974. And then Thomas, he's 46. He was born in 1975.
Wow.
So I mean, they're still young. I mean, they're older, compared to.
They started at like Bieber, 20 though. That means they would have started like super young.
I mean, they started early because they started like because they're from France, so they started in the techno clubs. Like, and if you watch the documentary, I think it's called Daft Punk Unplugged. It might be on Hulu or on HBO through Hulu.
Yeah.
I think that's where I saw it, but it's Daft Punk Unplugged. It just kind of gives you the overview of like kind of like their rise and what it actually means, what them as these robots actually mean. And it gives like the development of them even starting to create that like side universe, of who Daft Punk is. And then they scored Tron, which was huge.
Right. I remember that.
I mean, they were even in Tron in the bar scene. They're like the DJs, bar scene and stuff. Yeah, I mean, that was just
they were in a lot of stuff for a sec. I remember like they do like random. They didn't do a Super Bowl, did they?
I don't think they did a Super Bowl. They did have.
They did some kind of big performance like that.
They had the Tron stage set up at Disneyland. Do you remember the club? The Tron at California Adventure. No.
Oh wait, is that before the Mad Tea Party?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I remember the Mad Tea Party. Yeah.
Yeah, it was before the Mad Tea Party. It was like all electro, and like the drinks were like they had like the
like
ice
light
cubes
up
that they still have.
Yeah,
today,
they still
like,
have.
it was just different, So
Right.
yeah, that was sick. And it was like all like techno, but it was like Disney techno. Yeah.
I remember
Yeah, it
going
was
to
funny.
that tea party and like people just like shuffling everywhere, and it was like
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
like mini thing. I was like, oh,
Little
okay, it's
rave.
kind of
Yeah. You're
interesting.
like,
Yeah,
okay,
a
let's
little
go.
ratchet in
Yeah.
some
Okay.
spots,
You
and I
get a
was like,
little
oh,
drink. Yeah, yeah, yeah. For sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
for
I
sure.
liked there was at the Mad Tea Party because there was the electro, like the DJ who would come on, but the other
The
times it
Mad
was
Hatter,
the actual Mad Hatter, and it was
the band
they would play like a bunch of like
covers,
pop
right?
punk songs. Yeah, they were good.
Yeah, yeah, that was
I liked
good.
them a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, that was
They
fun.
were I
Yeah,
thought
that
they
was
were
fun.
better than the EDM stuff.
You know what's
Just the
wild
bodies
is
out there.
those performers, they're cast members. Like they specifically hire people at Disney for that role. Like you gotta like be able to
Yeah.
perform and sing. Like so they audition for that. I think that's wild, dude. That's sick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even think when you do like the parades, you got to sing and dance and like,
Right,
or when
right,
they
right,
have
right.
like the tram, like in California, you know, they have that tram. And they have like those like, what are they called? Those like singers like that. They're like the old school
On the tram,
singers. Yeah,
opera singers.
in California Adventure. No, it's like the old kind of like the guys with like the hats and like
Oh, like the 20s, like the
yeah,
the red suspenders and stuff and the vests and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what they're called, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so like even like those guys like they're I mean we all like walk by them, but you actually kind of sit there and listen to them. Like obviously talented, you know.
Yeah. When they do like the acapellas and stuff, and it's just like the four guys. Yeah, that's sick. You know what's
Yeah.
funny is I actually went to. Have you ever been to the Orange Circle in Orange County over off the 22 freeway?
No.
Oh, you should take Sienna. You should take Sienna. It's like a roundabout. It's like this really big roundabout, and there's like a park
Okay.
in between. It's kind of like, I guess I've never been to New York, but I would imagine like a New York or like Eastern, New England style kind of thing. And so like there's a little park here with a bunch of benches, and then surrounding it is a bunch of restaurants and coffee shops and stuff. And then each street has its own coffee shops and bars and breweries and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
And there's a record shop, which, by the way,
Which you're in right now.
Yeah, wow, that just correlates well.
You're like, I'm
there's a
just
record
plugging
shop.
them right now.
Yeah. There's a record shop there that I went to, and I was thinking like, every time I ever have gone into a record shop, I go in there to look for like artists that I know, because I'm like, oh, like, I wonder if they, and then but I never buy anything, because it's like, well, why? Like, I'm not going to spend $20 on a Dr. Dre album today. Like I have, like I have it, like whatever. And so I was thinking like, I really should be like popping in here every now and then to these local record shops and getting some like old jazz or some old acapella stuff or like whatever to like maybe even sample in like my songs. And so I bought a 1940s acapella group, and then I bought I think his name is Johnny Richards. He's a drummer. And so it's just like, it's like I've never heard of him, but I was thinking like, well, even if I don't like the music itself, maybe I can do something with it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, to segue off that, that's like the video you sent, that TED Talk, where the dude was just sampling and talking about like the history of sampling, and like how like sampling, it's not a way to copy somebody to be like, hey, but it's like to pay homage, or like, hey, like I felt what you put, like that actual music actually stuck with me. I'm just gonna do it in this way and all that stuff, and like that's where and how it took off. And he was like, they're playing it at the beginning and playing on the song. He was like playing TED Talks. That's how he was remixing that song. Yeah, super sick.
Yeah, that was Mark Robson.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the producer. He's produced for Lady Gaga. He's produced for Miley Cyrus. He's produced for Bruno Mars. Like he's on that one, Uptown Funk.
Oh, really?
Funk You Up. That's Mark Robson. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay. I didn't even know who he was. I just was like, like when he was talking about how sampling and like how that like changed music and stuff like that. So
yeah, he's like a big time producer. Amy Winehouse, like he's a big time producer.
Well, and he had the records like that. Like he was messing with the records too.
Yeah. That scratch table, the record player, the turntable is a little bit different than your typical one. It's like a new age one where it actually does connect to your computer. So it's exactly the way an old vinyl turntable would be, but except it's digital, so it connects to your computer, and you can actually. So that record that's on there is a fake record. It's like a record replica. So you still can put up like download songs onto that record from your computer, and it'll be playing whatever your computer is.
That's crazy.
So it's still a controller. It's not like you don't have to.
Because I was wondering, I was like,
vinyls.
I was wondering how he got, because he had all the TED Talks on the vinyl. And so I was like, how did he get that? So it's a digital thing
Yeah.
now.
So
That's pretty
basically,
interesting.
what he did was he compiled those videos onto one large video file, knowing that
Right.
this song was going to be the very first song all the way to the last song within
Right,
reason to the
right.
song and the beat. And that's like the way he developed his little presentation. And so every time that record was spinning, it was going through the video. And so when you would turn back,
Well, yeah, and
that's
then
how
you
he was
stop,
able to get it to glitch and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah, I used to do
yeah.
that with my little mini mixer. You could do it
Yeah.
on the, you do the music. Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good TED talk. I actually had to watch that for one of my classes. That's how I came about.
Oh, really?
About it. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
dope.
Dude, I've been the classes, the homework assignments that I've been needing to do have been so cool because they've been like all about the music industry as of recently.
That's
So like,
tight.
I had to watch or listen to a podcast with the founder and CEO and head of Spotify, which was really
Okay.
cool to like hear his perspective on what Spotify is, what its purpose is, and all this kind of stuff like that. Is it actually helping the artists? Is it actually helping the record labels? Like where are you in this whole like conversation and stuff? And I think he's taking the music industry, a step in the right direction, and he's not going to be the one to like make it like where it's going to like eventually like come, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
what he's doing is he's making it so that independent artists and musicians and whoever have the same chance of putting their music out. Now what they're working on is how do these people get heard? You know what I'm saying? Because like
Right.
Drake is going to be heard and streamed no matter what, right? He's going to be placed in one of the editorial.
He has like the most
playlists.
streams like ever. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So like Drake's fine, right? So he's still part of that like blockbuster, main record label, like persona, like person on Spotify. Even though it's streaming, he's still making millions off of streams. Whereas like the independent, like me, I'm getting like 1 to 2 streams every week, right? So I'm making like $15 a year off of just music streams, right? So like where do we like, what do we have to do now that we have a platform from all these artists to be on? Where do we kind of like meet in the middle? Where how do we get these like artists to be heard? How do we get these independent artists like better opportunities and stuff like that? So that's kind of what the podcast was about, which I thought was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool to do that for a class though. I remember like I took like a sports fans class. Like so sick. I took a comedy history of comedy class, and like you go through all these like old comedy, new comedy, and like what's the difference between like all the types of comedies and stuff. And like, dude, I loved it. Like you had to watch it like each movie a week, and like I was like so ready to watch the movies. You know what I mean? So
nice. Yeah,
stuff like that's cool.
For sure. Yeah, I like those kind of classes. Those are cool. They're just so interesting,
Yeah. But anyways, R.I.P. Daft Punk. I don't know.
R.I.P. Daft Punk. Yeah, I don't know how we got there. Yeah, R.I.P. Daft Punk. And honestly, I still think it. I look at these retirements of these artists similarly to the way I look at boxers or MMA fighters going into retirement. It's like we're announcing our retirement, but there's the possibility of us coming back, or we can possibly just do something later.
It's more of like a milestone, I feel like, than like a definitive like we're out. An athlete when they retire, they're basically done. There's very few times where they come out because of like you're just old or whatever. Like you can't music.
Injuries.
You don't need to be athletic. You know what I mean? It's like so. But yeah, like boxers, like they box for a long time. Floyd's come back multiple times. Conor McGregor. So yeah, I get what you're saying there. But I think like just a milestone. They're just going to do something else.
Right, 100%. And like I think we're probably going to be hearing a lot from Guy and from Thomas now. If anything, because
so what's their full names? What's their actual names?
Thomas's name is Thomas Bangalter, and then the other dude's name is Guy Manuel de Holman Cristo. Damn, he has like 8 names. Why does he have so many names?
Yeah.
But Guy Manuel.
So basically, if you see somebody, so basically, if you see a guy credited for producing with like 6 names, it's
if you see Guy, it's probably Daft Punk.
It's him.
Yeah. Because they've got to have been doing stuff too, just without Daft Punk. And I'm pretty sure that they have side projects also. Like I know that
I don't like
guy was part
I
of
don't like
like
doing the
Phoenix too, and Galveston or
what's Phoenix.
Galveston or whatever his name is. Phoenix. You ever heard of
Yeah,
Phoenix? No.
I don't think so.
They do that song Lasso. Lasso mania, I have to see it go. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Got to see it
No,
go. The convey to the masses. Dun, dun, dun. No, oh, I don't know.
nope,
Anyway,
not even slightly.
yeah,
Not even
it's
slightly.
like a, it's like
What sucks is since I'm doing this Zoom on my phone, I can't research stuff on my phone because it's like then I think it cuts the video too.
oh,
And my computer's so loud if I have it on, it's just a fan blowing into my phone. No. No. It sounds like a song that'd be at the beginning of like an indie film. Like you're just waking up and getting ready.
definitely indie, 100% indie.
Yeah. Like the kid's getting ready to go to school. And that's the song that plays. And he like
There's
just
like a
missed the
jingle.
bus and he has to run.
Yeah, and he's just like,
and he has to take the bike.
You know,
Yeah.
there's butterflies and birds flirting, flying.
There's the little girl and he has to push her over and take her bike. He's like, I'll bring it to you later. And he's on the little girl bike, you know, like yeah.
With a little basket.
Yeah. I'm gonna be late for class. You know.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. And
I definitely see that.
It's that scene where he cuts the corner and you just see him cutting the corner and then he's going straight into the camera.
He's going through the grass. He's going through the grass because he's gonna make it. He's gonna be late.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It's what time?
Wrote a movie
And just go through. Yeah, I know, right?
Movie. Yeah, we just wrote a movie. Yeah. So easy to write these movies.
They're so predictable now, dude. Like there's times like me and Sienna will be watching a movie and I'm like, this is gonna happen. He's gonna say this. They're gonna do this. Like it's so predictable.
Yeah, I was just watching this new series with Erica. It's called Behind Her Eyes. You heard of that one?
Okay. No.
It's the premise of it is this guy moves into this town, and then this girl who lives in that town is a single mom. It's in like London. This guy, they meet at a bar and they kind of hit it off, but then they kiss and he goes, I can't do this. And then you're just like, oh, like, what is this? Well, he ends up being her boss. And like, so then he's married. And so that kind of story is like whatever, but there's some weird, like, I don't know. It seems like the wife might be like this weird, like witch or something like that, where she's like doing some spell shit. But anyway, this is just to say, like, every single time something happens, it's just like, that's what this is. Oh, he's going to come right here. Like, oh, she's going to call. Yeah. Like, it's like, and then it's like, it just happens. So it's like, it's not even thrilling, cause it's like, if it was original, it would be, but it's just kind of like,
Yeah, sometimes they'll do that. Like I remember Sienna and I, we watched 2 like murder, like mystery, actually like 3 murder mystery shows or whatever. So like there was the one on HBO, which I'm blanking right now, with Hugh Grant. And then there's
HBO and Hugh Grant.
Yeah. And then there's the other one called Defending Jacob on Apple TV. And then
the Undoing.
Okay, so the Undoing, Defending Jacob, and Little Things on with Denzel, the new HBO Max one. Did you watch that one? With Denzel?
I heard that was good though.
It was pretty good. It just sometimes like with these things, like Sienna and I are like, oh, he's the killer. No, this person's the killer. Oh, this is how it happened. And then at the end you're like, oh, okay. Well, I guess it was just that
like,
all along, or something like that.
It's like they would have rewritten that to where this actually happened. Yeah.
Yeah, or like to leave it, which I like this. Sienna hates it, but I like when they leave it open ended. We're like, hey, you don't know who the killer is. At the end of the day, it's like cool. Sienna's like, so pissed. Like, dude, tell me. Yeah. But I remember like,
I like that too.
I would put spoilers on the Undoing, so if you don't want to watch it, you're listening to this, just skip through it. But basically at the end of it, so like he gets accused of murder, Hugh Grant, which is weird to see him in this role because he's usually just a romantic comedy guy. Yeah. And at the end of the day, like, so like there's like, oh my God, did the wife do it? Oh no, the son did it. Oh, it was him all along. And it was like, oh, okay. Like that you didn't really throw us for a loop. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
it was kind of like was like underwhelming at the end because you're just like, yeah, because we were like,
Yeah.
who's your money on? Like we were like betting, you know what I mean? And then
that's a bust. Yeah, I hate when that happens.
yeah.
That's why I like really good movies where they're well thought out. Well, like and I know we've talked about it before, but what's the movie with Hugh Jackman?
Prisoners.
And Prisoners, dude. I love
Dude,
that shit. Like where it's like,
intense though.
It is. And after you watch it a couple times, then you're like, okay, well, this is verbatim what actually happened. Like there really is no kind of like left up to like for you to decide, because if you actually watch it, you then do pay attention to themes and like, oh well, this actually did happen. And it's the ending. But if you, for the very first watch though, which I think would in a director's and writer's purpose would be that if you saw that in theaters, you would need to watch it again when it came out on DVD. You know, that would be the whole like. So, and I think they.
Well, the one thing I remember about that movie is like, there's like the side plot where like Jake Gyllenhaal goes on the side thing to like find like a killer too, but then they're also trying to find like I remember getting confused a little bit on that movie. Like, wait, why is he going to this random house to try to find this like killer? Is it linked? And then like ends up like, oh, like it wasn't even linked or something like that. But
well, it's because it's because so the like the mom, the older lady, right?
Right.
She was she kidnapped 2 kids.
Right. Was it her or was it the kid? And then she was covering up for it.
No, that
was it her.
The dude that had the mental problems, that was like had all the snakes, and like that was the side plot that Jake Gyllenhaal was going into. That dude was the kidnapped kid. He was just older now. And so he was all fucked up in the head because she was basically training him to do all these things. And so like all these things that he was doing, they were going after that because it seemed like he was the one that kidnapped the kids, but really the lady did it.
It was well, I remember how it ends.
So the lady was like the mastermind behind everything, and it was just like, yo, what is happening? But yeah, it's wild. That movie's wild.
I follow a couple film Instagrams now, like cinema Instagrams, and like they'll always replay like those scenes where like Hugh Jackman's like in the bathroom with the kid, and like, dude, it's intense, bro. Like it's like, oh fuck, like that's heavy. It's heavy,
dude.
You know what I mean? But
Hugh Jackman has such a good English accent, bro. He's British.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, you're saying he has American accent?
Yeah, he has a good American accent. He has such a good American accent. Like for Logan,
because he's British, right?
Like he's British.
Yeah, he did Wolverine for like 10 years, and like
I remember when I only knew him as Wolverine. Like that's who I knew him as. Like that was the very first time I think I'd seen him. I saw him as Wolverine and X-Men.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind that he was American. When I first saw him like with the British accent, I thought he was acting.
Right, you
like,
thought the British was
the I thought So I was like, what? Like,
what's crazy is how many British actors are out there. Like, there's that the dude Finn from Star Wars, the black dude who's like the stormtrooper or whatever. He's British. Right. I mean, there's so many like people out there who like are British, you just don't even realize, and then they see him in an interview, and you're like, what? Like that isn't.
I forgot that. What's his name? What's Batman's name?
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. I forgot Christian Bale was British.
Right.
Wild, dude. They're so
good.
He
like never plays that. He never plays that role either.
No.
So it's
wild,
who was I hearing that there was someone recently I was listening to and it wasn't that great, but they didn't have a whole lot of speaking lines. And so I was like, oh, this is why. It must have been one of the shows I was watching. But I know like there's one where Ron from Harry Potter, he's playing like a New Yorker guy in the show we're watching right now, which is kind of interesting, but just because I only know him as a British actor now, you know what I mean? So
isn't
but dude,
who's Bane? What's his name? What's Bane's
Tom
name?
Hardy.
Tom Hardy. He's British, right?
Yeah,
that dude's British.
He is good, but he does play some roles with his normal voice.
He does. Yeah, he does. He does.
I would definitely say, dude, if you get the chance with Apple TV, like, because if you just like get like a free trial or whatever, their shows are really good. Defending Jacob with Chris Evans is dope. It's pretty
Mm.
crazy, but I'll definitely
Nice.
check it out.
Yeah, maybe in
that's a good
summer.
one.
I've been slammed with just school, especially like I'm in
I
like got
know.
finals time right now, and then just with work and then church and Erica and everything. It's like I have
Yeah.
not watched any TV. I haven't even watched any sports. The only sports that I watch are
Yeah.
like Instagram highlights of basketball and NBA,
Mm-hmm.
or basketball and hockey. Which
Yeah.
it's so minimal compared to like what's actually going on in the league.
It's hard because you don't get the context.
And I
I have sports podcasts, but
yeah, I haven't even really been listening to podcasts either. I've been listening to a lot of sermons and stuff. So it's just been like different content intake for me as of late. But I was gonna say just to touch on sports a little bit. I thought it was really cool that for the hockey lovers, whoever knows who Sidney Crosby is, he's one of the players that like basically like, because I got into hockey and then he came into the NHL maybe 3 years after I got into hockey. And so like being able to like keep up with him and watch his rise and everything like that, like I was like a huge Sidney Crosby fan. And he was actually looked upon to be like one of the greats. Like he's just always been that like next protege type thing. Right. And he actually, the crazy story with him is that he actually played with Mario Lemieux, which Mario Lemieux played in the Gretzky days. And so Mario Lemieux is looked upon as one of the greats. Like he's just up there with points, assists, like everything. Like he's one of the greatest.
Okay.
So the fact that he got to play with Mario Lemieux in his very first years, Mario Lemieux actually housed him when he first got signed to the team, so that because like he didn't have anywhere to go. Like, he's a new rookie. Like you're just like, just stay with me in my house, like, whatever. And so like he just kind of, he got this like really good understanding of the game and got this like rise, and he's just so good. He just had his 1000th game. So I thought it was just kind of a cool, yeah, it's like that's a lot of games to play, especially in such a such a rough sport. And he's dealt through a lot of injuries. He's had like concussion problems and stuff like that, and he's still like putting up numbers and points and stuff. So
how many years has he been playing in the league?
I'll tell you right now,
because I know like LeBron actually hit a milestone. He hit 1,000 games with at least double-digit points, with 10 points or more, 1,000 games straight, which is just insane.
He started in 2005.
Okay. So he's a couple years after LeBron. So basically, as far as
he's been
time in the league.
He's been around
for like hockey. So like Wayne Gretzky's the GOAT, right? Like
right.
Who is the number 2 guy?
In terms of like points,
or no, like just who
or
do
like
you think is like
all-time greatest?
Yeah, all-time greatest besides Gretzky. Like if there was Gretzky 1, like who's the second? Like who's like the closest guy to him? Like is it someone like Sidney Crosby? Is it the
it's just like, it's like with all sports, really hard to pocket it like overall, because you have these different eras, right? So you have Wayne Gretzky and like the Mario Lemieux era, because Mario Lemieux is probably like second, like honestly. And then you have Marc Messier and Jerome Yager, which they were kind of like in that same pocket, right? And Yager just retired like 2 years ago. Like he was like 45 playing in the NHL. Like he had the like such a long career. Like he never got hurt. Like he was this big Russian tank that just like skated like a 5'2" guy. You know what I'm saying? So, but then you have like Gordie Howe and Bobby Orr playing like back in the day, where they like, so you have like these different evolutions.
Right, for sure.
Wayne Gretzky is looked upon as the GOAT because he brought this new style to the game of just like nobody was touching it. And then his numbers are just so far, like nobody's ever going to touch his numbers. Like nobody's ever going to touch his numbers. It's crazy. Like his points numbers are, it's just untouchable with that's like technology and the skill of today's game.
Yeah. That's like old school Will Chamberlain. Like there was one year where he was averaging like 20 rebounds and 50 points a game. Like that's stupid. But it's also
Yeah.
you can't compare it because back then in the early NBA, the NBA was people's night job. So you'd be like a lawyer, and then at night you'd go play the NBA. So that's why I get what you're saying. Like, I listened to Bill Simmons' podcast, and I like how he defines it. He defines it as like decades. So like, who was the best player of that decade? Who was that best player of that decade?
I think I listened to that podcast that you sent me.
Yeah,
I think you sent me that one actually, or maybe he touches on it multiple times. But so Wayne Gretzky's career is he had 1,487 games played. He had 849 goals, 1,963 assists, 2,857 points. So 2,857 points. That's like where he's at. And right now, Crosby's had 1,000 games played, and he's at 1,278.
So only a couple hundred. So he's like a couple hundred
points.
games less, but like the games played, he's only like what 400 away.
Games played, he's about 400 away. 400 away.
Right.
And
so he's not really he's close to that.
No, he's not going to come nowhere near.
How many goals does he have?
468.
And how many did Gretzky have?
About 800.
Jesus Christ, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then if you look at like Ovechkin, who he's going to be better in points because Crosby is a play setter. He's an environmental, like hard worker, grinder. Like he's the captain of the team. Like he's not the go-to points guy. Like that's why he has more assists than he does goals. Same with Gretzky. Gretzky has way more assists than he has goals. But Ovechkin is known as one of the best goal scorers probably ever to have played. And so he just went up, and he's still playing in the league today. He just went up to number 3 goal scored. He has 1,165 games played. He's at 712 goals, 581 points or assists, and then 1,293 points.
So the points,
and he's one of the best
assists plus goals. Do your assists count as your points? Interesting. Correct. And then I think it's a hockey assist, right? Hockey assist, you get it's 2. You can get 2 passes away, right? Like you can pass the pass and a goal, and you still get credit. So you get assist, right?
So you get an assist if you're the main passer, and then you get an assist if you're the second passer. So if I pass to you, if I pass to you and then you pass to somebody else and that person gets the goal, you and me get an assist. So you and me and the goal scorer get a point each.
Right, which is crazy because basketball hasn't implemented that. But they talk, like announcers talk about it and analysts talk about that. And there's certain analytics you can look up, but they're actually not credited though. So like, which I think basketball is another one of those things you've seen a little bit now too. And like the flow is kind of like that, like hockey, where you need to set up, you need to be the first pass that leads to the second pass that leads, all that stuff. So I've always wanted
given
basketball.
Goes are there in a given play, right? Where it's like, it's a quick pass, score, pass, score. Like, how many times does that happen? And to think that person wouldn't be credited with some sort of point within that whole play throughout the entire career, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of wild.
Right.
And I guess that's just my perspective, because I look at hockey and I think, well, yeah, that's such an important person because he's the playmaker in that situation, you know what I'm saying? And also I think psychologically it gives players more incentive to just pass the puck, because it's like, well, I'm going to get a point anyway. I'm benefiting my team. Right. So not only do I benefit as an individual within my own career, but I'm also benefiting the team, and I have a better way of doing that 100%. Too. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like giving them credit where credit's due.
Yeah. Now that basketball can track that,
I think that's just a hockey thing.
Yeah. Now that basketball can track it more, I wish they would attribute that to like a certain like stat, like not just points and assists and rebounds, blah, blah, but like, I mean, when you look at the advanced stat, there's some stuff like that, but like LeBron just passed. I think LeBron just hit a milestone. He has over 30,000 points, but he's over 10,000 points, 10,000 assists, and 10,000 rebounds. And I think he's like the only player to ever do it, which is stupid.
Wow.
Stupid.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, it's wild. And I think, it's crazy because there's people that will be like, so like, I don't know, Matt, say say somebody was to make a stupid remark like Magic Johnson wouldn't last in our current days, you know, NBA because like he wouldn't be able to hang. He would like whatever. Or if somebody says Wayne Gretzky couldn't hang in today's game, there's guys who are true to the sport who would like, because I was on Instagram and somebody made that stupid comment about Gretzky and about like how he wouldn't be able to hang with Connor McDavid, because Connor McDavid right now is dude, Connor McDavid's the newest Gretzky evolution of the game. Like he's fast, he's tall, he's big, he scores, he passes, and his puck handling is insane. Plus he gets back on defense, plus he can kill penalties, plus he's a scorer. Like, I mean, seriously, he's like the hugest weapon of all. And so like they're basically saying like there's no comparison. Like Connor McDavid is like way better. And what the dude who's like a truist to the sport is like, there is no Connor McDavid without Wayne Gretzky. Like Wayne Gretzky sets the precedent for who Connor McDavid is able to achieve to be with the advancement and training. Because Wayne Gretzky didn't have the advancement and training.
Yeah, there's a lot of old NBA players who have these crazy injuries, but the technology wasn't there to hurt it. Now, when you get hurt, you have the technologies, the recovery, all that stuff, the diet now that you can get back in the game and stuff like that. And so many injuries injuries like ended careers back in the days. And so like that's when they say like, oh, like Michael Jordan couldn't play right now because he didn't shoot threes. You don't think like Michael Jordan, if the way
would have
game
learned how to shoot threes,
right? That's it's the stupidest thing. I hate when people say that too. They're saying like, oh, like Shaq couldn't play in today's league. Shaq, Shaq, like these dudes are smaller now. Like Shaq would destroy these guys, you know. So I with you with that. I hate that argument,
that comparison. And like especially for hockey too, because you know in basketball I think maybe the technology of maybe the shoes would be like the only thing, but like the ball hasn't really changed much, right? Like the technology of the basketball.
They were wearing Converse.
So
in
like
the 60s and 70s, they're wearing Converse.
Right. So
flat shoes.
So like with hockey, they were using wood sticks during Gretzky's day. Wood full hollow, not hollow, just firm sticks. And now it's just a hollow shaft, so light, you know, you could wave it like the baton, like it's so light. And then the goalies were different. So the goalies didn't used to go down in their butterfly to cover the bottom portion of the net. So you would just shoot on the ice or at a low level, and the goalie would kind of like reach down to try to grab it or like save it or whatever. And now the goalies are going down in this butterfly, completely covering the bottom of the net. The nets have gotten smaller. The goalies' pads have gotten smaller. I mean, so there's just so many moving parts to the game, to where just to say that Wayne Gretzky wouldn't last or Michael Jordan wouldn't last in this, it's just like those players, if they were here today, one, they probably would have adapted like you were saying, but two, there's none of these better players without the history there. They don't have anything to aspire to.
Exactly. And it's those dudes have the work ethic. That's not like the other ones. You know what I mean? Like the Kobe's, the Michael Jordans, the Gretzky. Their work ethic, they would have made it in any league. You know what I mean? Any time. 100%. So I hate when people say that, dude. I'm like, you have no idea. Like I remember like Larry Bird. You know, like some people like discount him how good he was, and he's like one of the best shooters of all time. And he was shooting like 2 threes a game. Steph Curry takes like 15 threes a game. You know what I mean? Like imagine, and this dude was like 6'9" and could rebound and dribble the ball. Like he was like the GOAT white boy. And so like when people are like, oh, like he couldn't last like nowadays. It's like, that's so stupid, dude. Like he would have destroyed this league now.
It's just ignorant. You know? It's just completely ignorant
for sure.
To the sport.
And he was drinking beers. He was drinking beers before games.
How funny.
And after games, like a G, and he would like smoke cigarettes. Like they were so not healthy. Like all these new athletes are like going to like a vegetarian or like plant-based diets and stuff like that, like losing the weight. Like these dudes weren't doing that, you know?
Right, exactly. So, you look at LeBron's body compared to anybody's body back in the day. Anybody's body.
Yeah.
I mean, the players back then were pretty scrawny looking. They look like good athletes, right? But they don't look like they are built like a warrior. Like LeBron looks like a warrior.
Dude, LeBron tried out for football teams. Like there was the lockout year, and he was training with the Cowboys. So because you're 6'8", 270. I mean, that's just stupid. And he spends $1 million at least every year on recovery of his body. He does like different like plyometrics, like different like stability trainings. He does the cryogenic chambers, like those like
Right.
for like recovery.
Yeah.
Like it's he has like a dietitian. It's stupid. You know what I mean? It's like so different how it is today. So
yeah, for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
It's just the evolution of sports, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why you just can't compare them. That's why you just gotta, like, the people that have tried to compare them. Like, you could try to compare them, but it's definitely a
Right.
try. Like, it's an attempt, and it's literally it could change based off of your opinion on what would the GOAT be, or what would what entails
and what was
that
happening
thing.
at the times. Well, like I remember a lot of people wanted to do like the Bulls versus the Warriors, right? Like the Steph Curry Warriors or the MJ Bulls, like who would win?
Yeah.
And then I remember someone was like, well, what era are we playing in? Because back in the day, it was checking, like you were getting hit. You know what I mean? Now you can't get hit. But like, so if you're playing back then, you guys would lose. But if we're playing this day and age, now you're telling me you can't hit Michael Jordan? Because like the biggest thing, like if you watch that Last Dance documentary, like when he was going against the Pistons, he's like these dudes are bullying me. And so like I have to gain weight. Like I got to push weight. That doesn't happen nowadays. So you're telling me like you're not going to touch Michael Jordan now? Like that's you know what I mean? So it's almost like there's so much difference with the generations, but
can you imagine seeing like Michael Jordan adapt to this day and age and people telling him that he sucks or that he's not the greatest?
Yeah,
like
that's
today,
so stupid, dude.
you know what I'm saying? With the technology that LeBron has, you know what I'm saying? Although who knows if Michael Jordan would have taken those, extra measures of like recovery and stuff. I feel like he would have been too egotistic for it. Like he would have just been like, no, I can do it myself, like whatever.
There's theories, there's these myths that he was like playing in '93, he was in the finals with the Suns. And so obviously like Arizona is like great for golf. And he would go golf like 18 holes before a finals game. Yeah. And they said you could tell because he's darker. He looks like he got like sunburn. Like he's actually darker in like a certain finals because he was outside playing golf every day before he would go play in the NBA finals. He just didn't care. I mean, like, and then he'd go gamble and stay up till 4 a.m.
Yeah.
We're now like LeBron and them are like in bed at 8 in their cryo chamber. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, different era, different mindsets too. Different mindsets. So
totally different mindsets.
Well, I got to get going on homework. You know what it is?
Yeah.
It's Monday.
Yeah.
Today's
homework day.
Homework day. One more week. What do? We get a week off. We get a week off after this ish. We start the next.
I think it's like a week or 2 weeks. It depends. I think because I think winter is 2 weeks you get off, like between spring and summer or spring and winter.
Like
I think you get a couple weeks off, and then but between semesters, I'm not sure. I still got to apply.
It's like our spring break. Yeah, I just did all my stuff like 2 days ago. I totally forgot. I didn't realize that like summer was already ready, like spring 2 was already ready. I just got a notification that I could sign up.
They have fall for February. Yeah, that's so. I remember the first time I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be alive in fall. Like it's so far away. You know what I mean? Like that's so dumb.
Your financial thing is like you owe money for next year's classes. I'm like, dude, I don't even know if I'm going to have this money. Like, yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, well, I had an advisory meeting and it got canceled. So I was like, shit. So now I got to redo it. I have a couple classes, and then an internship, and I think I'm done in summer. So a couple months, dude. I mean, crazy. The big boy job. Dude, coming home and not having to do homework is like, wait, I get free time? Like I could like do whatever I want, So can't wait, dude.
It's gonna be wild.
Yeah.
It's gonna be wild.
Do you hear my cat right now? Do you hear my cat clawing at the door right now to get in? My door's like moving and she's meowing. Okay, good. Because she's been doing like the entire time. She's like, Dad, like let me in.
Please let me in. Good old Luna. Damn, I miss Luna. I forgot that I used to own Luna kind
of. I know.
I used to have a cat.
She's such a princess, dude.
I know. Yeah. I want to get a dog. I want to get a dog soon. We were gonna go to a rescue shelter yesterday, but they were closed.
Oh, okay. There's the one I got when I got a dog was in.
I don't want to.
It was Norco.
I don't want to go to that one. Your dog was trash.
Dude, my dog was trash, bro. R.I.P.
I don't want that dog. I don't want. R.I.P. Imagine.
Dude, I think R.I.P. to that dog.
Yeah.
Sorry to the listeners that have to hear that, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your head at least. All right, man. Well,
Yeah.
thank you everybody for tuning in
Yep.
to our record store and living room talk.
My
I guess.
beautiful living room. Yeah.
Yeah.
my beautiful
Yeah.
office.
Yeah, looking nice over there. I like how
Yeah.
I like how your light is right there too. The little
Yeah,
the
it's
little
nice.
lamppost. It's like right behind
Yeah.
you, but it looks in front of you when you're not there.
Yeah.
It's
Perfect.
a nice
I
little
organized
addition.
I organized this
Everything.
all very well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Who do we got in here? I don't even know any of these. This is a jazz. I think it's jazz. Yep, jazz.
yeah.
Jazz artist.
I was trying to look
Okay.
at that earlier. Yeah, swinging
I don't think-
swinging the classics right there.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Bourbon
What else we got
Street.
going on over here.
I go to a bar called Bourbon Street.
Yeah, that bar's good.
Yeah.
All right,
Right?
everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the Big
Right.
Small
Yep.
Talks podcast Zoom session.
Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on TikTok.
Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Where do we put the subscribe thing? Right here? Right here. Maybe? Or
I think
up
it's
there?
below. I think it's like
Below?
smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe.
Welcome back to our channel. Yeah.
Yeah. Are we gonna be those guys?
I mean, damn.
I hope we
I guess we have to be. I guess we have to.
Smash that like button. Destroy that like button. You know.
What it is. Yeah. So many
Ring the
times.
bell.
Ring the bell. Ring the bell. All right, I gotta go. I'll be here
All right.
singing with you tunes all day.
Yeah, for like 3 hours.
Peace, everybody.
Yeah.
It's big small talks with Chucky, me and you. It's big small talks, BSing with the group. It's big small talks, expanding points of view. It's big small talks. It's big small talk.